Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor E. Frankl. Hello, and welcome back to Wealth, Wisdom, and Insights. Today we're going to discuss a truly life-changing book, Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor E. Frankl. This is not just a book about surviving hardship, it's about thriving in life by finding meaning, even in the most unimaginable circumstances. Frankl's story and the philosophy he developed called Logotherapy have the power to transform how you view your life's purpose. First, setting the context. Let's look at Frankl's background and experience. Viktor Frankl was a neurologist and psychiatrist who endured the horrors of Nazi concentration camps during World War II. He was imprisoned in Auschwitz, one of the most notorious concentration camps, where he lost his parents' brother and pregnant wife. Yet, amidst the darkest depths of human suffering, Frankl discovered a profound truth. Even when we have no control over our circumstances, we always have control over how we respond to them. This discovery would shape his psychological philosophy, Logotherapy, and provide the foundation for his best-selling book, Man's Search for Meaning. Now let's explore the philosophy of Logotherapy. At the core of Frankl's philosophy is the idea that the primary drive in life is not the pursuit of pleasure or the pursuit of power, but rather the pursuit of meaning. This fundamental concept forms the basis of logotherapy, which literally means healing through meaning. Frankl explains that we, as human beings, are constantly searching for meaning in our lives. It is this search that gives us a sense of purpose, direction, and fulfillment. But what exactly is meaning? How do we find it, especially in times of suffering? Frankl shows us that meaning is personal and unique to each individual. It's something that can't be prescribed or given by someone else. Instead, we must discover it for ourselves. Frankl also describes 3 ways in which we can find meaning in life. First, through work or creating something significant. This could be anything from your professional achievements, creative pursuits, or personal projects. It's about contributing to something larger than yourself. Second, through love or relationships. Frankl emphasizes that we can find deep meaning in our connections with others, whether through romantic love, family, or even the love for a cause or idea. Finally, through how we respond to unavoidable suffering, Frankl believes that suffering itself can be a source of meaning. When we can't avoid pain or tragedy, we can choose how we face it, and it is in this choice that we find meaning. Now we focus on Frankl's personal experience, where he finds meaning in the camps. Frankl's reflections in the concentration camps provide powerful, real-life examples of his philosophy in action. In the camps, he noticed a pattern. Those who survived weren't necessarily the strongest or healthiest, but those who had something to live for, something that gave their lives meaning. For example, Frankl vividly recounts how thinking of his wife gave him hope and a reason to endure the unimaginable suffering. Despite not knowing if she was alive, he would visualize her face and feel her presence, giving him the strength to continue. This is where Frankl delivers one of the most famous lines in the book. The salvation of man is through love and in love. He found that even in the most desperate conditions, love could provide meaning and purpose. On the other hand, Frankl observed that those who lost hope, those who no longer had a reason to live, often succumbed to despair and gave up. He tells the story of a fellow prisoner who believed he would be liberated on a specific date. When that day came, and liberation did not happen, the man's body quickly deteriorated, and he died shortly afterward. For Frankl, this was a clear example of how the absence of meaning can lead to despair, even death. This book emphasizes that the importance of choosing our attitude is the ultimate freedom. One of the most powerful messages in Man's Search for Meaning is that we always have the freedom to choose our attitude, no matter the circumstances. Frankl explains that, even in the camps where prisoners were stripped of all freedoms, the Nazis could not take away one thing: the ability to choose how they responded to their suffering. This idea is summed up beautifully in one of Frankl's most famous quotes. Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. This notion of ultimate freedom is crucial not just for surviving extreme situations, but for everyday life. Think about times when things haven't gone your way. Perhaps you faced rejection, failure, or loss. The power lies in how you choose to respond. You can let these experiences defeat you, or you can find meaning in them and use them to grow stronger. Let's look at a modern-day real-life example of finding meaning through adversity. Imagine someone who loses their job unexpectedly. At first, it feels like a devastating blow. But over time, they begin to see this event as an opportunity to pursue a career they're truly passionate about, something they might never have done otherwise. Through this challenging experience, they find meaning and direction in life that leads them to greater fulfillment. This is the essence of Frankl's message. We can find meaning in the most unexpected places, even in suffering. Frankl's idea that suffering can be a source of meaning is particularly profound. He argues that suffering is an inevitable part of life, and while we can't always avoid it, we can decide how we deal with it. Frankl writes, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves." He gives the example of a cancer patient who, despite knowing that their condition was terminal, found meaning in the way they faced their illness. The patient decided to endure their suffering with dignity and strength, knowing that their courage would inspire their children and leave behind a legacy of resilience. By finding meaning in their suffering, the patient transformed what could have been a hopeless situation into something deeply purposeful. This is what Frankl means when he says that suffering ceases to be suffering at the moment it finds meaning. Another key aspect that Frankl touches upon is the role of the ego in our suffering. Often, it is our attachment to our ego, the part of us that clings to control, status, or expectations, that amplifies our pain. Frankl realized that by letting go of ego-driven desires and focusing on what truly matters, love, purpose, and meaning, he could transcend his suffering. In the camps, Frankl had no control over his external circumstances, but by quieting his ego and focusing on what was within his control, his attitude, he found inner freedom. This is a powerful reminder for all of us to examine the role of ego in our lives. When we let go of the need to control everything or gain external validation, we free ourselves to experience deeper fulfillment and meaning. Application to modern life is meaning beyond the material today. We live in a world where many people equate meaning with material success. More money, more possessions, more status. But Frankl's work challenges this notion. He reminds us that true meaning comes from within. It comes from our relationships, our contributions to the world, and how we face the inevitable challenges life throws at us. For example, a person may have all the material success in the world but still feel empty inside because they lack purpose. On the other hand, someone living a modest life might feel deeply fulfilled because they are doing work that they love, contributing to their community, and nurturing meaningful relationships. It's not about what you have, it's about what you give and how you grow. Now, final reflection. What will your meaning be? As we conclude, I encourage you to reflect on Viktor Frankl's life-changing message. What gives your life meaning? What drives you forward, even in times of difficulty? Is it your family, your work, a personal passion, or perhaps a cause you deeply believe in? Remember, meaning is not something that happens to you, it's something you create. Frankl's journey through the concentration camps teaches us that even in the face of overwhelming suffering, we can always find a reason to live, a purpose to pursue. So ask yourself, what will your meaning be? Thank you for joining me today on Wealth, Wisdom, and Insights. I hope Frankl's lessons inspire you to find deeper meaning in your own life. Until next time, stay purposeful and keep seeking your own truth.